Bulletcast for life.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to our third installment of recapping Friday Night Dynamite. I'm your host, the microphone messiah, Phillip Antoine. On the line, the sensational Sherry of the Bulletcast, Cindy. Cindy, what underscore C underscore OK? That's the tag, right?
Correct. Simply C underscore OKAY.
All right. How you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, this week has been a not so great week for yours truly, as you guys saw it on my social media accounts. But just wanted to reassure everyone, your girl is doing okay. And I just wanted to thank everybody from the Bulletcast Nation to checking up on your girl. You know, I'm doing okay, just hanging in there no matter what. We all need to vent and let it all out instead of holding things up altogether. But so far, so good.
Absolutely. I saw you posted Chris Van Vliet when he had Cena on little inspirational bit Cena was spitting out there.
Indeed, it definitely really did lifted my spirit, and it's a good message for everybody that John Cena did explain. You know, it doesn't matter if you want to play the bad guy or be a champion; it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, man, that's one thing I really always enjoyed about Chris's interviews and how the inspirational bits that come out of them. You know, watch any one of them. You'll find a little bit of inspiration in any of them. That's what I've always enjoyed about Mr. Van Vliet. But yeah, so we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. It was a decent show. It was all right. We're just gonna jump right in there. We start off Dynamite with Matt Hardy out there with the Hybrid 2, or the Highlighter 2, as I like to call them, Angelico and Jack Evans, and he picks Angelico to go up against Christian Cage. So Captain Charisma makes his way out there. Match goes about, I want to say about 18 to 20 minutes, something like that. All in all, Christian Cage with the unpretty or the kill switch, whatever you want to call it, he gets the 1-2-3 over Angelico. Angelico, man, a very talented in-ring performer, you know, being born in South Africa and learning from Ultimo Dragon, and, you know, being really entranced with the Lucha Libre and the technical side of the sport. I've become a fan of his over the last couple years.
Same here. His in-ring skill is so impressive, especially with a different type of collegiate wrestling that he's been innovative with. So a little bit of a background of the story. So Matt Hardy ran into TH2 on the episode of AEW Dark. They had their backstage segment saying that he was impressed with TH2's performance as a freelancer, and he convinced him to join the Hardy family office. So Angelico did pick up the victory over an independent wrestler on Dark named Matthew Justice, and that's why Matt Hardy did handpick Angelico to challenge Christian Cage in order for him to be part of him and Jack Evans be part of the faction, of course. But the match itself, it was pretty solid. I mean, I'm very impressed with, again, Angelico's in-ring ability, but Christian Cage, man, I mean, with that missile drop kick, followed by he steps on Angelico back while looking dead-eye on Matt Hardy and Jack Evans before Angelico did the enziguri, then the jackknife for the 2 count, but of course at the end, Christian Cage, as you said, he did the kill switch and pick up the victory, of course.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, Christian, he's really starting to get his reps in. It's starting to look more crisp. It's starting to look like Christian Cage. Captain Charisma hasn't missed a beat in the 7 years that he had off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he still got it regardless, you know, being out of action for 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, you know, gotta get that callus back up. You know, you gotta get the ring rust off and all that other stuff. So Christian, he's doing a great job. When AEW comes out here, I can't wait to see him live. I saw Christian live only one time, man, and I wish I'd gotten to see him live more.
Oh my God, you're so lucky.
Yeah, man, it was a great time. Next up, we have Cody Rhodes, Arn Anderson, and Brock Anderson, the son of the legendary Arn Anderson. They come out there to talk to Tony Schiavone, and I guess Brock, you know, he's going to be having his debut coming up next week because QT Marshall interrupts them, and he comes out and he says, "Cody, you've overlooked young talent like Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado." It was like, "I want to whoop your ass," literally in a what is it, in a South Beach strap match?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Cody's like, "Oh no, you want to whoop my ass?" He starts taking off his belt, and they all Tony's like trying to calm them all down, and then QT takes off his belt and hits Arn in the back, and then Brock double leg, beautiful takedown to QT, and he's firing on all cylinders. So I guess next week it will be QT and Aaron Solo, if I'm not going up against Cody and Brock. This was a great position for the newcomer Brock Anderson. We're gonna see what he can do. We're going to see if he can lay in that spine buster like his daddy.
Indeed. And besides, Brock looks like the younger version of Arn Anderson, of course. It does run in the family gene.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can this isn't a knock, but you can start to see it thinning. It's hereditary because Arn, that young, he was thinning too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, he does. It looks like the spitting image of his daddy. So we're gonna see how he works. I'm excited.
Me too. I like the fact that when QT Marshall comes out and he said he's trying to prove to the fans that like Cody is selfish, and I like the fact that he said no, not the IWC, of course, taking a jab of the internet wrestling community, but the paying fans that wanted to see Cody only, but not like the rest of the stars or anybody in the Nightmare Factory.
Well, to be fair, the IWC hasn't really been on Cody's side as of late, given the racial undertones of his promo going up against what was it, Anthony Ogogo going into Double or Nothing and stuff like that. But I mean, like when the fans are in full effect, Cody he's a mastermind. I mean, you've seen it here in the Bay Area, and then going to a New Japan show, or me going to Double or Nothing, the first one, like you can see it, man. Cody, he knows how to work a crowd. It's in his blood. So I think it'll be fine. We know who they're going to favor going into that South Beach strap match. Moving on from that, we have a 6-man tag. We have Eddie Kingston, Pentagon, and Pac going up against the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler in the sweatsuit and the face mask, doing his best undashing Cody Rhodes impersonation. What'd you think of this 6-man tag?
The 6-man tag match was pretty interesting. I know that Brandon Cutler was like too scared to be tagged in, but of course the Young Bucks has no choice but forcibly tag Brandon Cutler in and put him in the ring, where of course he got beat the crap out of Pac, then Kingston, then Pentagon El Cero Miedo. And I do want to say this real quick. The reason why he's wearing a face mask because he sustained a facial injury from the past episode of AEW Dark. So that's why he had to wear this mask, of course, to recover. But all in all, it is a pretty interesting match. However, the only thing that I'm kind of curious about is the interaction between Eddie Kingston and Pac, because Pac was very hesitant by having Kingston to be their tag partner in the 6-man tag match because of the brief history they had. But all in all, it was a pretty solid match. Penta with the backstabber to Matt Jackson. Then he delivered the step-up tope kohiro, landed on Nick and Brandon outside of the ring. Pac with the 450 splash, then the brutalizer to Matt until Nick broke the submission hold. And then, of course, you have Eddie with the step-up enziguri to Nick as Kingston with some type of a strike to Matt, then a roll-up for a 2 count. And, of course, all the members of the Elite did the enziguri to Kingston. And, of course, then Brandon Cutler did a low blow drop, then missed. Then Eddie with the lariat. Then Pac actually did pick up the victory with the assistant, of course.
Yeah, Eddie with the spinning back fist. That Chuck Liddell kind of made that famous at MMA, and he adopted that in his arsenal on the Indies. Eddie Kingston with the tope suicida.
Oh yeah,
you love to see it. You love to see it, and of course, Pac did his. It wasn't a Fosbury flop. I think it was a corkscrew plancha. But all in all, I mean, Kingston, Penta, and Pac, they defeat the Bucks and Cutler. One of the Bucks' first losses in a very long time. Can't wait to see how this plays out. You have Gallows and Anderson making run-ins and whatnot.
And then Frankie Kazarian came in to make the save as well.
Yes, the elite hunter. I like that. I like that. He hasn't shaved in a while. He looks unhinged. Looks like it's really been eaten up at him. That plays into the story. Moving on from that, this is the first time we've seen or heard from the Pinnacle since Double or Nothing, and they all come out there. They all cut their own promos. FTR says, Santana and Ortiz, you lost your edge. You've been here since day one, and you haven't won the titles yet. We came in here well after you, and we got the job done. Sean Spears talks about Sammy Guevara. Wardlow says, Hager, you need me to feel relevant and stuff like that. MJF says, Jericho, I've beaten you twice. You don't get another one. Sorry, bud. And then the Inner Circle, they come up on the screen, and Jericho's like, hey, MJF. He talks his ish to them, and they destroy the Pinnacle's limo. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the promo side, and then what are your thoughts on the dastardly act by the Inner Circle?
Oh, yeah. The promo itself was pretty solid. I do like the fact that Sean Spears did call Sammy Guevara a glorifying indie wrestler and how much he deserved to be a hero, not Sammy Guevara. Wardlow did, of course, cut out about Jake Hager's, how he is obsessed with him. And, of course, that he did accepted the challenge for the MMA cage match against Jake Hager, which is going to be taking place next week, I believe. So this is something that I'm kind of very intrigued about. And of course, MJF, as always, cutting a amazing promo. Not only he called out to Jericho, but then he called out Sammy Guevara, calling him a chicken S-word, and said to keep his name out of your mouth. And of course, the usual "I'm better than you know it" quote. And then of course, the whole Inner Circle destroying the limousine. It was amazing. I think you have is Santana, Guevara, and Jericho hitting the limousine with their respective weapon or I think it was Ortiz. I couldn't even tell them apart. Spray painting. I don't know what he wrote on that side door of the limousine. And then you have Jake Hager with the forklift starting to smash through the limo and lift in. I was very entertained by it altogether, but it kind of reminds me of something that I've seen in WWE years ago.
Yeah, I know what that is. It's when John Cena in Crime Time, JTG and Shad Gaspar, R.I.P. When they destroyed JBL's white limousine. Yeah, John spray painted poopy on it. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the one I was thinking about in the top of my head when Jake was starting to smash the limo with the forklift.
Yeah, it was all in good fun. Next up, Miro versus Evil Uno for the TNT Championship. There's a video package that plays of Evil Uno discussing why this is important to him in the Dark Order. He wants to make Brody proud of him. Of course, Brody Lee was TNT champion during his short, brief stint with the company before his passing. And Miro controls the majority of the match. Members of the Dark Order come out, and then, they realize they can't get physically involved or else Evil Uno will be disqualified. And then all of the Dark Order comes out, and -1, it was nice to see him back on TV. He hasn't been there because he hasn't been doing his schoolwork.
That's right. And he went back to school in person.
Yes. And I'm sure he's a star in his class. They all come out there to cheer on Evil Uno. He does the Brody Lee taunt with the hands and the yeah. He's going for the discus lariat. Doesn't affect Miro. Miro just clobbers him down with the lariat, and he puts him in the, I don't know what he calls it now. I'm just going to call it the accolade because that's what I know it as. Puts him in the accolade. Evil Uno taps out, and Miro retains the TNT Championship.
Yeah, it was a fairly solid match for Evil Uno. I'm becoming more of a fan of Evil Uno because he has more of something about him. He gives more charisma. I don't know what it is. I think it's from his gimmick. So I really enjoyed this match, especially how he did a different moveset to pay a tribute to the late Mr. Brody Lee. He did the pun kick to Miro, of course, and of course with the discus clothesline he done. And of course, Miro did stomp Evil Uno as Uno took a couple jabs to Miro. And of course, Evil Uno did a step up Hurricanrana and then a double clothesline. And of course, the big boot as a tribute, of course, to Mr. Brody Lee. And the impressive senton atomico Uno did deliver to Miro for a 2 count. But all in all, this match was really solid. And at the end, Miro did deliver the accolade, as you mentioned, to retain the title. And of course, the members of the Dark Order, they were pretty disappointed. But I saw the part where -1 was trying to get away from the Dark Order to trying to get a piece of Miro's mind, but Alex Reynolds and 10, they're trying to block him so that way that he won't be getting involved, of course, because he is a kid.
Absolutely. Next week, Jim Ross, the voice of wrestling, sits down with Andrade El Idolo, the face of Latinos. That should be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to that.
Hopefully JR better pronounce Andrade's name correctly, because he did say Andre
On
El
on
on
on Andrade El Igloo.
school.
It's Andrade El Idolo for all of you out there. Andrade El Idolo. Come on, guys. Next up, we have a segment where Kenny Omega is obviously accompanied by Don Callis, or yeah, Don Callis, that's his name. And they're talking to Tony Schiavone and they're cutting the promo. And Jungle Boy comes out there. And Kenny's like, I don't know you'd be much of a promo, guys. What are you doing out here? And then it becomes a Pier 6 brawl. And Jungle Boy tries to put him in the snare trap. What are your thoughts on this whole segment?
Promo was very interesting, especially the fact that Don Callis did call Jungle Boy's theme song as a one-hit wonder, just like Jungle Boy as his number one contender. So, of course, Kenny Omega being Kenny Omega, always talk crap. And then Jungle Boy came out. He didn't say anything until Kenny keep running his promo until Jungle Boy say, "You talk way too much," and then that's where Kenny start attacking him. And of course, they both brawl out, as you mentioned it, Jungle Boy with a snapmare. And then, of course, the Young Bucks came out, and that's where Jungle Boy escaped from the ring. So it was a pretty interesting promo, especially just a build up of what's going to be happening in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick. The world title match between Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega. It should be interesting. Rumors are going around that Omega is hurt.
Yeah.
Some bruising on the tailbone, and I guess he cut his hand when he was giving all those title shots to Pac back at Double or Nothing. Cut his hand on, I believe they said it was the AEW title because of how jagged and sharp it is. But I don't know. I mean, he doesn't wrestle that often, so he should be healed up and ready to go.
I hope so too, because tonight he's having a match against Moose at the Impact Plus special against All Odds, which they're going to be having the match at Daily's Place. And of course, in a stipulation, because this is a preview, because I cover Impact Wrestling, whoever wins the Impact World title will get to face Sami Callihan at Slammiversary.
That's going to be very interesting. I'm a big fan of Sami Callihan.
Oh yeah,
love him. Oh man. Next up, we have a very interesting match. It is the native beast Nyla Rose going up against legit Layla Hirsch. I like Layla. She's an amateur wrestler. I can relate to her on that level. Being that's what I used to do back in the day. Yeah. I mean, her story is incredible. Coming from, she was born in Russia. She goes to New Jersey at the age of 15. She's an amateur standout in high school and college. Starts training in 2017. Starts training a little after that. Makes her debut in 2017. And yeah, she's only 24 years of age.
Oh yeah,
very impressive. Yeah, they have a step stool for her, and it says what's it say, Shorty Layla or something like that.
Let's see, Legit Shorty.
Legit Shorty. Hey, that'd be a nice little rap name. I don't know. Yo, it's Legit Shorty on the track. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's a nice match. I mean, she gets fired up. That at one point in time, she tries a suicide dive, doesn't really work out for her. She does a beautiful moonsault. Nyla Rose. I thought that was very impressive. Nyla looks like she's going to go for that diving knee that she always does. But all in all, a big beast bomb for the 1-2-3. Nyla Rose picking up a huge win on AEW Dynamite.
Agree. It is a very impressive showcasing match. Thank God Vicky Guerrero did not came out and said, "Excuse me," to interrupt Justin Roberts' intro. Yes.
I love that.
Well, she did a couple times on AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, where she comes out, say, "Excuse me." And of course, sometimes she had a small flirty segment to Justin Roberts, because of course she is a cougar. And normally she normally introduced Nyla Rose by herself, but I guess on this episode of AEW Dynamite, Justin Roberts did introduce to Nyla, while Vicky was holding the step stools to Layla Hirsch, because Nyla and Layla, they've been going back and forth on Twitter. Of course, that's what Nyla do, of course. All in all, the match was pretty impressive. I mean, I am impressed with Nyla Rose's submission, especially with the cross arm breaker until Nyla did the rope break, and of course the German suplex to Nyla before she delivered the diving knee strike. And it was a pretty solid match. Of course, Nyla Rose did the top rope avalanche beast bomb to pick up the victory, and afterwards Vicky Guerrero did lay Layla down with a t-shirt, which you can get it at Shop AEW, of course.
Absolutely. I might be picking up that Christian Cage t-shirt. Not the Outwork Everyone, but the new one that he wore tonight or last night. I might be picking one of those up. That looks nice.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for my shirts to arrive from Shop AEW that I just ordered on Double or Nothing weekend, but I'm gonna order it again as my early birthday present since my birthday is in July.
Yes, yeah. The day of or the day after.
Day
Uh,
after the day after is the West Coast Pro Show.
okay, well, we're gonna have to give you a little happy belated birthday celebration while we're at the show.
Yeah.
All right. Uh,
Yeah, so
After that, we have Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She cuts a promo with Rebel, not Rebo, and Tony Schiavone on the backstage courts. And, she says, Nyla, I understand why you're doing this. You need this championship to be relevant. And she says, well, I make this championship relevant. I'm ushering in a new era. And I like that. Britt, she's really come a long way on the microphone. The cockiness, you can kind of see elements of her significant other, Adam Cole, Bebe, in some of her promos as of late.
I definitely do see that as well, and especially at the fact that she did tell that Nyla Rose is now part of the list of jealous B word in the bag, of course. So now that
It's okay. You can say it. It's okay. This is a bonus podcast. You can say it.
jealous bitches in the back. Which of course, like you can tell now that everybody, like whether you're a babyface or a heel, is now gunning for that AEW women's title, of course, especially with Britt Baker, especially but she cut an amazing promo. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be leading on to like her title run, especially her first opponent against Nyla Rose. Maybe on Road Rage. Who knows?
Possible. Maybe I'd say Fire Fest. Let's
Yeah.
build it up a little bit more. In the main event, we have Hangman Adam Page and 10 Preston Vance going up against Will Hobbs and the FTW champion Brian Cage, the Machine. Interesting contest. I mean, Page does a lot of his normal moves, moonsaults and whatnot. 10 have an impressive showing with his impressive physique. There's some distortion still in between Team Taz with Ricky Starks bringing out the FTW title and Cage throwing it away and Cage going after Ricky Starks. And then the buckshot lariat to Hobbs and 10 picking up the dub.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting main event match. I like the fact that 10 did the punt kick, of course, a tribute to Mr. Brody Lee. And Hangman Page did powerbomb Brian Cage to the pose, and then he did the moonsault to Will Hobbs for a 2 count. A lot of like impressive back and forth going on as a kind of like your typical main event match. Brian Cage did deliver the German suplex, then the high low to 10 for the 2 count. And then, of course, like you have Hook providing the distraction to the referee while Ricky Starks did throw in the FTW title to Brian Cage, and then Brian did throw it back because he really doesn't want it, of course. And that's where Ricky Starks came up to Cage, told him off, and I believe it was either Brian Cage or Ricky Starks, whoever slapped their face first. That's when Brian Cage that's where he exited the ring and chased Ricky Starks and leaving Powerhouse Will Hobbs like hanging, and that's where, of course, 10 did the back 10 counter with the ripcord counter, and that's where Hangman Adam Page did the buckshot lariat, and that's where 10 did pin Powerhouse Will Hobbs and pick up the victory, of course. And then you have the rest of the member of Dark Order coming out, including -1. They all have a beer except for -1 and Colt Cabana, because -1 is underage, and Colt Cabana, I believe he is straight edge, of course. So all in all, the main event match is interesting. I'm curious to know what's going to be happening next with, the fallout from Team Taz now that they're setting up more of like, kind of like Brian Cage breaking away from the faction itself, or hopefully, because you know me, I am not a fan of too many factions and groups in AEW. Hopefully this may be going to be leading up to a breakup of Team Taz.
Yeah, quite possibly it could. I think Cage, he'll be fine without Team Taz. That's just the way it is, Kenji. I mean, you go watch the Impact run and anything else he's done on the Indies. Cage, and of course, what was it, Lucha Underground? Cage is a very talented, he's a very talented competitor, so I think he'll be all right. But him going up against Will Hobbs for a big match, I think that would be something.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of like a throwback to their match in APW.
Did they wrestle each other in APW?
Oh, they did. I believe May 2018 is it's one of the Congress show.
The Congress.
Conquered.
Oh, Conquered. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll wait to see. AEW does have some big things coming up. Was it July 7th or Road Rage in Miami, and then the next week is going to be Fighter Fest night 1. I'm not sure where it's going to be. The week after that, Fighter Fest night 2, and then you have Fight for the Fallen,
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, I think it's Garland, Texas. You're right. So yeah, and then after the whole Fighter Fest thing is going to be Fight for the Fallen. So I like how they're naming the big shows, as a welcome back.
Yep.
It's going to be something very interesting. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what AEW does. They need to. I'm waiting for them to come here. I need it.
Me
I
too.
need it.
All of us need it. We need to go to our first ever AEW show. Even if they go to SoCal, I mean, I might as well go because I have friends there too, and my dad's girlfriend is in SoCal too. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. I went to Double or Nothing 1. That was it. That was it. They were supposed to be here, but the whole pandemic hit and whatnot. But yeah, Cindy, thank you so much for doing this. As always, let the people know where they can find you.
No problem. Thank you for having me as always. So people, just an update on the episode Into the Stratosphere. Don't worry, I'll getting that out. I just need another week off because, your girl needs to take care of stuff. But as a sneak preview, it is going to be a big recap of the pay-per-views from NWA, especially the recap from NWA Power and the big announcement as well. New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion, Impact Wrestling, and the fall and the Against All Odds recap as well. And you guys want to find me on social media, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. And remember, you guys, please be kind of one another. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. You guys know where you can follow me, Twitter and the Instagram, Instaham, Heel Antoine, HEELANTWINE. I'm also on In the Click, follow In the Click, wherever you listen to podcasts, all forms of social media. The Bulletcast on Instagram, The Bulletcast YouTube, at Bulletcast on Twitter, Bulletcast on Facebook. Of course, go follow Brandon's other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. TNC at the Movies, my homie Juan and his uncle do movie reviews on YouTube, TNC at the Movies. Complex Conversations, COMPLEXX Conversations, wherever you listen to podcasts, is another podcast that I do. And yes, of course, HD for Life on Teesprings. Please go give them a follow. Summer's, it's right around the corner, guys. Right around the corner. We're all getting vaxxed and waxed. Going to the gym. Got to show off our 24-inch pythons, brothers and sisters. Get some getting your hair done. Get some graffiti tanks. Tank tops if you want to change up your bedroom. If you got a special person coming over, get some graffiti pillows and stuff to change it out. I know that's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, HD for Life on Teesprings, and if you want to follow them on Twitter and Instagram, HD.for.life. It's simple. It's for life, brother and sisters. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe. Get vaxxed. Diamonds are forever. So is the microphone Messiah. We'll talk to you guys next time.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.